Hi, I'm Chris from Lecture Owl, and welcome to Music for All. In this 10-part course, I'm going to teach you how to play guitar from picking up a guitar for the very first time all the way through to playing your very first song. In today's episode, we're going to talk about song structure. In this episode, we're going to look at song structure from a guitar perspective. In the next episode, we will cover lyric writing and then combine the two. And by the end, you should have the tools you need to write your first song. Now, it's important to note that these are just tools, strictly just tools, and there aren't really any rules. So you should feel free to express yourself creatively and approach things the way you want. In Western music, song structure is pretty basic, especially in pop music. Essentially, the vast majority of songs have a bare bones structure like this: verse, chorus, bridge, chorus. The chorus is a central idea of the song. It's the part that we come back to time and time again, both musically and lyrically. A chorus will typically have a catchy word progression base like the 1-5-6-4 we talked about in a previous session. So the chorus has a chord progression base and will be driven by a powerful melody. And I mean powerful in the sense of either being able to really elicit a certain emotional feeling or being really catchy, or both. The chorus is often a place of stability or consonance. It's the part where we get our reward. It's where we experience the peak emotion. The chorus melody can be sung by the vocalist or played by an instrument or a combination of both. With some songs, the chorus melody may come after the chorus in the form of a hook. A great example of this is The Weeknd's Blinding Lights, where we listen to the song just to hear the synth play that hook. So if the chorus is the central concept of the song, then the verse is the part that tells us the fundamental story or gives us the fundamental feeling. Dynamically speaking, the chorus is a high part of the song, which makes the verse the low part of the song. Now the verse moves the song along, gets us interested, and teases us with a payoff. Now, a more expansive example of a song structure looks like this: intro, hook, verse, pre-chorus, chorus, hook, verse, pre-chorus, chorus, hook, bridge, pre-chorus, chorus, hook, outro. And in some metal and rock styles, it expands this even further by looking like this: intro, hook, verse, pre-chorus, chorus, hook, verse, pre-chorus, chorus, breakdown or bridge, solo, re-intro, verse, pre-chorus, chorus, our hook, and our outro or breakdown. Now going back to the previous example, let's look at each part in turn. So the intro is the first thing that you hear. Now this is a really important part of the song, especially if you want to release songs in a professional manner, because this is a part that people remember. It's the first thing that they hear, and it's the first thing that they remember. So as soon as they hear a song, their brain immediately starts trying to classify it. Is this something I've heard before? Is this something I like? So again, the intro is important because it's unique and it sets the stage for the song. Now you don't always have to write the intro right away. Maybe you want to figure out your chorus first, then you can use a fundamental part of that chorus, maybe a simplified riff or a few notes from it played in sequence. There's no rules. Now the examples I'm going to use here are from a song that we already wrote as a demo for this series. The intro is a simplified version of the chorus where I'm kind of just plucking notes from the chords. Now, let's look at the hook. Now, the hook is the part of the song that really catches your attention. Compare it to a fishing hook. It catches you and makes you want to hear more. Hooks are often catchy, melody-based sections of the song. Often the hook is a version of the chorus and it's played without vocals. So here, for our example, it's just the chorus of the song with no vocals. Next, let's move on to the verse. Now, the central concept of the song is based on the 1-5-6-4 chord progression, or C, G, A minor, and F, but we've stripped that down, and so instead of starting on the C, we start with the G and then we go to the C. So the chord progression is the verse of this song, just G and C repeated. And we do it with a little bit of a sustain on the C. Again, there are no rules. Some songs will only use one chord for the verses. They'll just play like a... Some will only use bass and drums. Sometimes it's the same chord progression as the chorus, but just with a more relaxed drum beat, or less instruments, or less dynamic playing. So the main tenet is that the verse is a low dynamic driver of the song that tells us the story. Next, let's move on to the pre-chorus. Now the pre-chorus is a less stable part of the song. The pre-chorus builds tension, it doesn't resolve. It's like the build-up in EDM. It hypes us up and leaves us wanting more. So to build the tension, we might use chords that are more dissonant, like minor chords in the major scale, or maybe we'll use an odd number of lyrical lines, or maybe the instruments turn up a bit, play a bit louder, or a new instrument joins in, signaling that the song is about to go to the next level. So in our example, we stopped playing the high notes in the chords of the verses and added some energy by shifting to down picking and hitting the strings a bit harder for more volume. So it sounded something like this. And again, because it was just a two-note pattern, it doesn't completely resolve, so it leaves you feeling like you want more. Next, we have the chorus. Again, the chorus is the high point of the song. Everyone is in there, guns a-blazing, playing at full power. The chorus is kind of the central theme, the big chord progression. Now, this isn't always the case, and it isn't even the rule. Some modern artists like Ed Sheeran and The Weeknd and Taylor Swift have had great success with songs where the chorus is just vocals and a beat, like the vocals and a drum beat. And the hook was the catchy part of the song, and that was what kept you listening. Bad Habits, Look What You Made Me Do are just two good examples. So for the chord example in our song, we're just using the 1-5-6-4 chord progression in C major, which again is C major, G major, A minor, and F major. And we made it simple with one chord per measure in the count of 4-4. Next, after the chorus comes the hook. Now, in a lot of music, the hook and the chorus are the same thing. Sometimes the hook is just the extension of the chorus, but with a different melody added. In our example, we made it an extension of the chorus with a lead line added. Now, depending on the song, we might go back in and play the verse again. So some song structures go verse, pre-chorus, chorus, verse, pre-chorus, chorus. Others go verse, interlude, verse, pre-chorus, bridge, chorus. There really isn't any set pattern you have to follow. Now, I mentioned something that we hadn't talked about before, an interlude. An interlude in music is a gap, a break, or a passage. It can be as minor as a half bar of silence, or it can be as expansive as a full song itself. It all depends on the context. For this project, I'm using it in the context of it being a little break, or even a turnaround, maybe a few chords to keep interest or break up a couple of verse sections. Next, let's talk about the bridge. The bridge is typically near the 3/4 mark of a song and is usually preceding the last chorus of the song, sometimes before the third verse. Consider it like the second intermission in a 3-part play. It's like a break from the theme of the song that brings a bit of fresh air, adds some space, and begins to build. The pre-chorus is basically a bridge, though in a very minor form. Where the pre-chorus will really keep the theme of the song, the bridge might step away for a second. In our song example, we used 2 chords and cycled them one after the other, building to the final chorus. And it was like this. Next, let's talk about the solo. In rock-based music genres, a solo is a very common part of the song. It can be the bridge of the song, or in some songs, it follows the bridge. What the solo is a part of a song where any instrument plays a lead role, often backed by the other instruments playing rhythm. In our rock example, it's the opportunity for the guitarist to shine, to play something exciting and powerful that really wows the listener and adds that entertainment factor to the song. Now, the solo doesn't necessarily have to be played by guitarists. It could be played by any instrument, really. And some other popular instrument solos are often saxophone or keyboard solos. So you might be wondering how you could learn to play a solo, and the good news is we've actually already covered it. It was in the improv section. The style of scale exploration that we did is essentially the backbone of modern rock solos. Next, let's talk about the reintro. Reintros are usually a few bars of an instrumental break where the music slows down from the fever pitch we reach during the chorus to calm us back down, reset us, and prepare us for the verse. Reintros aren't really popular anymore in most music and have been replaced by the hook or a post-chorus section. Often they're just a quick break where we go back into the intro as if starting the song again. Now, we hadn't talked about the post-chorus section much yet, and it is the part of the song right after the chorus, often the hook in popular music. But in heavier styles of music like metal, it might be the breakdown. Now, the breakdown can also be the bridge of the song, but in heavier musical styles, it's often a heavier, more spacious, rhythmically focused section that often occurs after the chorus or at the end of the song. Something like. Finally, let's talk about the outro. The outro is the conclusion of the song. It's a way of finishing. Outros are often the chorus, but played with vocal variations. In pop music with talented vocalists, this is often a section where the vocalist breaks down the structure of the chorus and will demonstrate their vocal talent, either by changing the pitch or the melody, or by changing around the melody or the lyrics, or any other interesting thing they might come up with. The outro is our signal that the song is nearing its end, and that things are about to wind down. And with that being said, let's wind down this video and go for our outro. Thanks for watching episode 8. I hope you found today's lesson helpful and valuable. If you have any questions or for more information, feel free to visit us at lectureowl.com. Next, in episode 9, we're going to talk about writing lyrics and self-expression.